hello there. This is Craig Haynes speaking, and I would like to invite you to listen to a message if you are interested in mathematics education for your student. And I'd like to start this by asking two questions. First of all, are you a parent who wants the best possible math education for your children? And secondly, would you like to learn how to give your child a math education as good as, or perhaps better than, a billionaire can give his or her child? Now, if your answer to these two questions is yes, then this message on this video is definitely for you, because I'm going to tell you how you can achieve this goal for you and your children. But I should warn you that in the course of this message on this video, I'll be revealing what some people consider secrets that very few people know or believe. But the truth is the truth. Now, you're not going to need to take notes, because I'm simply going to be referring to various web pages that will explain how you can give your child the best possible math education available today very easily and cost effectively. And then you can review these web pages at your leisure. They'll all be available to you. So let's start out by asking the question, first of all, just who am I? Well, I'm Craig Hayne. I said I'm Dr. Craig Hayne. Well, I have a PhD. It's in mathematics. And I have been a mathematician and a businessman and a teacher for many decades. And I've used mathematics and studied mathematics in all of these fields. And it's been very, very useful to me in all these capacities. And of course, my favorite aspect of all of this is being a math teacher. Now, the facts are, my motto is this: if you want to learn math or help someone else learn math, then I like you, and in fact, I want to help you. As I said, I founded a company called Triad Math Inc, which you can go to, and we offer mathematics for various groups of people. We have special training programs for industry and military. We have special programs for STEM students, that's science, technology, engineering, and math. And of course, we then have programs for homeschoolers and adult learners. And I'm going to talk to you about the homeschool plans today. And as I said in the very introduction questions, what about a billionaire plan? Suppose you were a billionaire and you wanted to give your child the very best possible math education, and money was simply no object. And you came to me and said, this is what I want. Well, I believe you found your answer, because my curriculum, and by the way, I go by the name Dr. Dell to my students, is a very unique math curriculum, and it involves teaching and coaching and, when necessary, tutoring. And that's what my program is, and that's what I have for you. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is guarantee you that your child is going to learn and master the post-elementary mathematics that they need, that are going to be very best for his or her capabilities in life and what they want to do in life. And of course, that'll vary from child to child greatly. And so that's the first thing you need to know. The second thing, and believe it or not, most children's capability is much higher than they think it is, or their parents think it is, because a lot of children have had a bad experience with math and they're afraid of it, they don't like it. And if that is the case, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And even children that are doing okay at math still will find that their capability is probably greater than they think it is once they get the proper math education. Now, what you're going to get in this program is two things. First of all, you're going to get me as a teacher. And I'm going to tell you all about what that consists of in just a moment, because I'm going to be the teacher to teach your child the mathematics that they need. The second thing you're going to get is you need a coach for your student. And I'm going to be your coach. And I'm going to do it on site, because that's the very best way to coach. And that's what makes this program, by the way, for you so expensive, because of this on-site coaching that I'll tell you more about in a moment. That's why there's an asterisk here. But what I really want to tell you about now is the teacher part of it first, and then we'll talk about the coaching part second. The teaching part, of course, is extremely important. And so here's what this program is going to include. First of all, it's going to include the proper math content for your child. And I'll tell you right now, this is quite different than anything you're going to get in a typical math textbook or in a typical school. Very, very different. And there's good reasons for it that you'll come to fully understand. The second thing is, I'm going to use the very best teaching methods that modern technology facilitates. This is called pedagogy. And these two things, content and pedagogy, are critical in giving your child the best possible math education. Now, the way the teaching goes is I have created video lessons for each topic. And what's good about this is that the student has control of the video, so it's interactive in effect. The student can pause it, can watch it over and over, and so on. And it's also self-paced then. The student can watch these videos at their own convenience. They can watch them over and over. They can take breaks and so on. Very important. These are both very important aspects of the student learning, of the pedagogy. And then once the student has watched a lesson on a video and thinks that he or she understands it, then they are going to be given exercises to do. And this is where the learning really takes place, is in the doing. Math is like a sport or a game. You've got to play it and practice it to get good at it and to understand it. And so these exercises, of course, are specially selected for each lesson that they're getting. I might also add that they'll be given printed notes. So when they're watching the video, they won't be asked to take notes. They'll be given appropriate notes. And so that's very important too. Once a student has mastered a certain topic, then we give them a quiz on it so they can verify to themselves and to us, and anybody that wants to know that they've learned that particular lesson. And so it goes. Learning math is like climbing a ladder, one topic at a time, one lesson at a time. And of course, there's always supplemental exercises because we ask the students to come back and practice. In fact, we ask them to spend about half their time practicing things they've already, quote, learned, because that way they're going to get it's going to really embed it in it permanently for retention. We give them, of course, certificates of completion, which is nice, tangible evidence of their success. And the first thing we're going to teach them is how to use a scientific calculator. We use the TI-30XA, and of course we'll supply that. And then we do, in the upper tiers, use a textbook by what I consider to be the greatest math teacher of the 20th century, Dr. George Simmons, and it's called Pre-Calculus Mathematics in a Nutshell. And you'll learn all about it as time goes on. Of course, your student is going to have access to a student forum, so they can go and ask questions anytime they want to about anything. But in this case, because I am their coach and also their tutor, they'll probably just come straight to me. Now, anytime I teach anyone, I guarantee that the child will be successful, or I'm not going to charge anything. So you're going to see from the very beginning that this is very successful. And if for any reason it's not, then we'll cancel the program and there won't be any cost to you. Now, your child's path to success can start today, and since you're a billionaire, and we're going to do it the way I'm talking, it's going to cost you $30,000 per month. That's on the average. We can negotiate it. You can call up and we can discuss it. And you might say, that sounds a little high. Why is it that much? Well, remember, we're going to do on-site coaching, and so that means I've got to come out to your place at least twice a month, and you're going to have to fly me out there in a private jet. Perhaps you already own one, or you can lease one. And that's what makes it so expensive, because those on-site visits are quite expensive. I charge per hour about what a really good attorney or doctor would. But then, of course, it takes a lot of my time to fly out there twice a month. And so that adds a lot to that. In fact, that makes it about $30,000 a month compared to much less. Now, that's what you're going to get as a billionaire. And I think this will be the best that you can give your child in terms of math education. So now somebody's going to say, well, okay, what's the next level now? Suppose I'm not a billionaire. Maybe I'm just a multimillionaire. Well, I can give you exactly the very same thing we talked about for a lot less money, because when it comes to coaching, I can do it online. It's not as good as on site, but it's still pretty good. And so I'll be your student's coach and tutor online. And when you do that, that means I don't have to fly out to see you twice a month. And that's going to bring the cost way down. In fact, it brings it down to $10,000 per month. So now I'll be your student's teacher and student's coach, but it'll be online. Now, you might say, well, I'm not a multimillionaire. I'm a millionaire and I can afford quite a bit of money and I want the best, but I really don't want to spend that much. Well, I can give you the very same thing that we just talked about, only instead of me being the coach, we'll use a certified math coach that works for our company, Triad Math. And I'll tell you, the certified math coaches are, for the most part, as good as I am. I'm a good coach, but lots of people can be good coaches. My real forte and value in all this is as your teacher. And this program I put together, and by the way, it's taken several years to develop this program, and it runs on a multi-million-dollar technology platform, as you'll soon learn, because we have to keep records and just all sorts of things and deliver it properly. That's the real value that I'm providing, is as the teacher. So I can give you a certified math coach to be both your coach and tutor for $3,000 a month. That includes all the tutoring your child might need. Remember, they have access to a forum, but if you want the very best, you might want a tutor. Well, the coach can do that. Now, you may say, well, okay, I'm not a millionaire. I am just a busy homeschool parent. I don't have time to coach my child, but I don't think my child's going to need much tutoring. They're pretty good at math, and you'll find most children are. That's typical. So then what we'll do is we'll give you a certified math coach without the tutoring, and that will now only cost you $300 a month. If your student turns out to need some tutoring, the coach can do it, and we'll charge $100 an hour for that. But chances are that won't be very much needed because this training is so comprehensive. The videos work so well, along with the quizzes and the exercises and everything that's going on and climbing the ladder. Most students don't need any tutoring. And remember, they always have access to the student forum where they can go anytime, day or night, and ask questions, and usually within 24 hours, or certainly within a working day, they're going to get an answer. So if you're really interested in this, you're a homeschool parent, and you want to go this route, then you can sign up today, and it's only $300 per month with our certified coach. Now, I know I've covered a lot of territory here, and there aren't very many billionaires. There's a few, and multimillionaires and millionaires and so on. But you are maybe what I call a classical homeschool teacher. And so what about you? You can't afford $300 a month, or you certainly don't want to spend that much money, but you do have time to invest in this because you are, after all, a homeschool teacher now, and you are spending time teaching your child all sorts of things. But when it comes to math, you go, whoops, I'm not really a very good math teacher. Well, that's where I come in. I'm going to be your math teacher. Everything we've been talking about, your child's going to get. All the online content, all the special bit, everything we've talked about. But now what's going to happen is you are going to be the coach. And in fact, I'll even coach you how to be a great coach because almost every homeschool teacher can be a great coach. You probably can't be a very good math teacher. Very rarely can a homeschool teacher be a good math teacher. There's so much that goes into this. You have to know so much and know how to do it, both the pedagogy and the content. That's very hard for most homes, but you can be a good coach. So what's going to happen is we're going to be partners now. I'm going to be the teacher. You're going to have access to everything the billionaire's got access to as far as teaching goes. I use the same thing for the billionaire. This is the very best way to teach a student. You're going to be the coach, and you're probably going to be a better coach than I can be. Why? Well, you know your student better, and you're there all the time. And it's not online, it's on site, it's you. In fact, this is what I said earlier. You can probably give your child a better math education than the billionaire can. Even though I'm going to be, for the billionaire, the on-site coach, frankly, I think you can do a better job of it. And what's it going to cost you? Well, it's only going to cost you $30 a month. That's it. Now, we do have a $50 setup fee, but we're waiving it right now. So you won't have to pay that if you buy at this time or very soon. You are going to have to go out and buy a scientific calculator we use. That's going to cost you about $10. And eventually, not right away, but eventually you'll buy Dr. Simmons' book, Pre-Calculus Mathematics in a Nutshell. It's a fabulous book on algebra, geometry, and trig that I use in tiers 3 and 4. And by the way, it only costs about $15 on Amazon. So you're going to spend about $25 that way. Now, as far as the notes go, you're going to print them out, a PDF we're going to give you. So you're going to print the notes out, and the exercises all be printed out. So you're going to have everything really that the billionaire had and more, and it's only going to cost you $30 a month. Now, there's all sorts of things that you might want to know about this program. As a matter of fact, if you want to study these plans, you can go to, we have a special thing, go to homeschoolmathematics.com and put /plans, and that will let you look at all the web pages that I've showed you so far. And if you go to Homeschool Mathematics home site, this just talks to you about homeschool mathematics in general, and it gives you a message there that I have that any homeschool parent should get. And we compare your child to a red tulip in other words, they're unique. That's what we talk about here. We believe every child is unique, and you'll learn all about it. And by the way, there's a tremendous amount of free resources. If I'll just click on this parent resources, and if you go to that, these are free. Even if you don't buy a program, these are free, and you get tons and tons and tons of things. Mostly are their videos on all kinds of subjects. And these are free to you today. You can go to them right now and start looking at them and learning all sorts of things about teaching and about special topics and everything. And all that is free. And that's available to you right now. But if you really want to get your child started in succeeding at math, I would recommend that you try our program and sign up for it right now. I will tell you this, you get a 30-day trial. You sign up for it, and if within 30 days, and you're going through tier 1, which is the calculator and the pre-algebra, if you don't like it for any reason, or it's not working for your child, or any reason, just cancel the program, and we'll give you back your $30. So it didn't cost you anything at all. And as a matter of fact, in that 30-day trial period, you will probably, at the very least, have learned an awful lot about how to use a scientific calculator. And that's great. We'll be delighted that you've gotten something out of it for your time. And who knows, you may tell other people about it, because we're relying on homeschool teachers to tell other people about it. We're keeping our sales and our marketing costs very low, and that's why we can afford to do this thing for only $30 a month. I mean, it would cost you hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars a month if you went locally and tried to hire local teachers and tutors to do this. I doubt it. Well, I just don't think you could, frankly, because this is so different than anything they've seen. There are no textbooks today that do what I do. If there is one, believe me, tell me what it is. Even the George Simmons book is too advanced in the beginning. When I started out, we used strictly our own custom notes. So this is Craig Hain or Dr. Dell. I hope that you have learned a lot from this and you know what to do now. And I hope that you will give your child the very best possible math education that they can possibly get. And if so, I'm sure we will some way or another meet in the future. And I look forward to that. So I'm wishing you then the most success in teaching your child mathematics that they need in the best possible way.